Okay. Before we move into, because what I then want to vibe on next is like, okay, so when you are now a parent, how will you then approach certain situations? What will you do different and blah, 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 blah. But to be honest, what I really want to then go into is there really any advantage to having children in the first place? Like in this day and age we live in,
Nigga.
why do people desire to have children? I mean, let's be honest, the world is already overpopulated. So if you want to have a child, you're just being selfish. And like, I'm just saying. So let's start from rules. Rules. Is there any advantage to having children? Yes or no? I know you want to go into a long presidential speech. Just say yes or no first, then I'll prompt you.
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
You say yes. Okay,
Yeah,
Kamal,
personally, I want to have kids.
I know you. Hey, no problem. Kamal, what you said?
What's the question?
Is there any advantage to having children in this day
Of
and
course,
age?
there's advantages. What do you mean?
Any useful advantages, or I guess
Yeah, I say
advantages.
useful. Yeah, I say children are useless.
Bro, wait. What do you have against kids?
Hey, listen, hey, I have a lot to say, but I'm just saying, is it worth it? I guess I should phrase that question. Is it worth it having children, both in the short and
Okay,
long term?
bro, what you mean?
I've not started the debate
Okay,
yet. Don't worry, we'll debate. I'll
on
tell
a,
you
on
my
a,
points.
okay, on a person by person. Okay, this is obviously very subjective, but like, I feel most people in Nigeria anyway would want to have kids. Like,
Because
apart
that's what
from
society, especially in Nigeria, dictates. I mean, so when
to a
people no, but
degree,
it's true.
yes.
But I've met people that then say I don't want to have children, and then it's like, oh wow, like no, there must be something wrong with you, and I'm like,
Yeah, that's
no,
what I said
dude.
to a degree. Yeah. There's that, but if you look at, especially you guys that are in America and whatnot, like it's not a societal, or it's less of a societal norm there to have kids. Like there's
Okay.
many people that just choose not to have kids. There's many people that choose to not even get married. Like they just have
True,
partners their
true,
whole life.
true.
So like all these like societal norms don't dictate life in modern society as much
That's
as
fine.
they
That's
used
why.
to.
So I'm about to balance the advantages with the disadvantages. We're about to have the discussion. But before that, Olaiton, what do you think? For kids, no kids?
Well, yeah, I want to have kids.
Okay. And there are
How many
practical
babies?
advantages. It's worth it long term, short term, yeah.
I don't know if it's worth it, but like,
Uh-uh. Wait. What do you mean?
No, let me at least have somebody on my side before we enter the debate. So,
That's what I asked her.
yeah.
What does she mean first? Let me understand
What
what
do
she
you
means.
mean? What do you mean by that?
if you think of it, like, there's really, you don't want someone coming to change your life. Like
Facts,
when
thank
you
you.
have
Yo.
kids, wait, when you have kids, like everything
Skills,
changes.
relax.
But at the same time, I want to have kids because I've just been conditioned. Like I've just been,
Because you've been conditioned as a societal norm.
yes, you have to have kids, you have to do this. But like it's really no pressure.
But why
But
can't we challenge those
it's no,
societal norms? Why do we still have
Rose, is
to?
eh,
there no pressure?
there is no
There's no
pressure,
pressure.
but like I love to have
Rose,
your kids.
Rose,
Come
is
on,
there
There's
no
no,
man.
there's no
pressure?
pressure. There's no pressure now.
No pressure.
We'll have those babies, but there's no pressure.
Yeah, beautiful baby.
Yeah,
Wink.
yeah.
Relax. Doing that here. I now
Nah.
here's the thing. Let's take it step by step. Okay, so is there any advantage? I'm sure there is, like self-esteem.
Uh,
Uh there's something that would at least love you for maybe at least the first 5-6 years.
something that will love
This is
you.
something.
Like maybe at least for the first 5-6 years. Well, let's be honest, First of all, obviously, the most important thing is finance. These
Uh,
things are expensive. But remember, it's more than just Pampers.
why are you calling
It's
them? Wait,
I'm
wait,
sorry.
wait, wait.
These kids. No, I'm trying not
Uh,
to. Yeah. These children are expensive. Remember, it's more than just Pampers. It's school, clothes, transportation, medical bills, babysitters. I don't know, lesson teachers. Yo, like, how much is school fees these days? Like, how
Do
much?
you know the sad thing? The sad thing is that after spending all of that, like we don't really have control of how they are going to turn out. Like one
Exactly.
person can just decide, oh, I want to mess up my life.
Like, they can still
And you're
fall by
sitting
the
there
wayside.
like, I
Exactly.
give you everything. I give it, but why? The person is just like, oh, I don't want to do what you want me to do. Like, I'm switching. I don't want to behave how you want me to behave. And I'm just going to do what I want. And you have no control over it.
Bucks. That's what I'm saying. So
Skillz,
where's the advantage there? Huh?
your issue is the financial cost.
That's one of my issues. I'm not done. I'm not. There's many other
Continue.
issues. No. Feel free to cut me off because I'm gonna go off.
Nah, go off. Like, talk your shit.
Oh, okay. So issue number one, finance. These kids are expensive, guy. Like, if I have a child today, we went to Greenwood. I don't know how this child would like. I cannot pay for Greenwood. She's expensive. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So out of all the things I just said, school clothes, transportation, medical bills, now let's be honest, they're human beings. So humans are complex, things can go wrong. I know there's technology now that you can see if the child will have, certain issues, maybe for example, like Down syndrome and stuff like that before they are born. But all these things that you never really know what might happen to a human being, like, it's a lot financially. And let's be honest, your child can grow up to be great. Maybe they can be the next president of Nigeria, but there's also a chance that they can be terrorists. Like, anything can be. Anything is possible. I mean, so financially tragic. Time, your life basically until that child goes to uni is just focused on that child. Every move you make is for that child. If I'm hanging out now, I'm doing a podcast for you guys, I have a child. One, I might not be able to do the podcast. Or two, I say, okay, let me go out. I can't go out without finding the babysitter. Like, you get stress, man. It's ridiculous,
Wait, is it safe to say you don't want kids?
No, I'm not. That's not what I said. I'm just
That's
saying.
That's what I'm asking.
No,
you should already know this now.
No. I didn't say I don't want kids. Wait, Kamal, do you ever? Rose said maybe Kamal, what do you want kids?
Nah, I'm asking you, nigga.
If you man do it first, I'll do it.
Wait, so you having kids is dependent on us?
No, I'm just playing. I
haven't decided. This guy is actually not playing. He can actually say that he's not having kids until we have kids.
No, I'm playing. I honestly haven't decided that yet.
So after all the negatives you've just like laid out, right? Why are you still not sure if you want kids or not?
Well, I haven't decided that yet, like at all. Yeah, I mean,
I'm saying why?
I feel like no, like it would be nice to have. There are advantages, like I said, and because of all the disadvantages, which let's be honest, outweigh the advantages. If I have at all, it will be one. Yeah, I mean 1.5, max 2. Yeah, I mean, so that's that. So I was talking about the time burden, right? It's a lot and everything. And that even goes into a bigger thing of it depends on the societal norm would dictate that the guy has to go to work and the girl will stay home, take care of the child, and blah 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 blah. That is already still an issue. But we'll move on. Next,
stay-at-home mom still the norm in today's society.
It's still in our society, yeah, I think so.
Nah, I don't think so.
In Nigeria?
Yeah, even in Nigeria, I don't think because most Nigerian families can't afford one household income earner. So most Nigerian households literally
the girl might still go to work, the wife might still go to work, but she's still expected to do more on that caring side. Exactly. So if somebody needs to sacrifice, I'm not going to work today, it's then expected to be her.
Yeah. That's the norm.
Yeah, okay. Then career opportunities. Okay, maybe you get a job somewhere else in a different state or something. Now you gotta move. Now you gotta worry about this fucking kid. Yeah, I mean, you gotta change schools and shit. Like, it's too much, man. It's too much. What if you're now married and then you have a child and it doesn't work out with your partner? Not the fuck. What about the kid? Now there's a kid involved. I mean, now what? Like, does the kid go with mom? Does the kid go with dad? You're basically just a zombie until the child goes to university. That's just the way it is. That's the way it is. Okay, cool.
You know what's crazy? After everything you said, I have siblings that have kids, right? When I stay with my siblings and I look at the stress, like all the shit you're talking about, like all the stress, all the changing pampers, all the this, all the that. And in my mind, I'm like, what the hell would you ever go through this, And then I look at them as they're doing these things, and they're just like, "Yo, like this is the greatest thing that's ever happened to me." And
okay, I don't know about that. It depends on who.
Like honestly, most parents you speak to will tell you that like the best thing that happens.
So you'll be changing pampers with shit on it, and you have a smile on your face.
No, I'm not saying you have a smile on your face in the moment.
So you just said.
the wider benefits of having a kid and just having someone that came out of you that reflects you, that you can groom into, at least try to groom into whatever it is you want your kids to be, and continue your lineage and whatnot. Like having that person in your life, from what I've heard, because obviously I'm not a parent, is one of the greatest things that happens. If most of them do say it's the greatest thing that happened to them. So,
but
as
a
much
lot of them
as
also say otherwise too.
like who?
There are people that would say otherwise. That there are people that probably regret having kids.
Yeah, there are people that actually hate their children.
I haven't heard many people that had kids that wasn't like out of abuse or one unfortunate situation, like consensually had kids that then later just like nah, like I regret.
No, but that's the thing though. I mean, most people probably don't mind having kids when they're still like 2-3 years old or something, But let's be honest, children are sometimes fucking annoying. Yeah, I mean, like
yeah.
Yes.
But if you took a survey of society, I'm sure like percentage would be like widely swung into the direction of people think kids are.
Do you know the thing? The thing with what Skillz is even talking about is like all of those stuff that you mentioned. How having kids is a gamble. That's pretty much life you just described.
Exactly.
Because even if you don't have kids,
it's a gamble.
That,
no,
Rose, you're right. That your life is still going to be better.
No, Rose, you're right. I'm saying it's a gamble. But when you want to take any gamble, you weigh the pros and cons, right? But now we're in a situation where they're like the cons just heavily outweigh the pro. Like there's no real advantage.
I don't agree with that though. Like,
okay, tell me an advantage then. Tell me.
Bro, what are you living for? Like all this money you want to make and all this like shit you want to do with your career. Like what's the end goal with all this?
So what are you saying? The end goal is to spend on your children. That's what you're saying.
I'm asking like what's the purpose of
no, now I'm doubling it back to you. What's the end goal for you to spend on your children?
I feel like there's a wider purpose in life beyond just yourself. And I feel like kids is one of those, like being able to have a kid and then all your life's work going into something. Like literally your child is your life's work, an accurate representation of yourself, a living representation of yourself. I feel I don't get you. Like there's more to like life than just living and making money and traveling. Like you get tired of that shit very quickly.
But I don't know, when you say your life's work, that's then suggesting that you've worked and then eventually you have children. People have children at 16, they haven't done shit.
No. I'm not saying you have to work to have kids. I'm saying like there's a wider purpose in life beyond just your everyday going to work. Like
and I agree with that. But that doesn't then mean having children. Okay, outside of going to work every day and blah 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 blah. I don't know. I know some people like they take years off work, they travel, they do this, they have like mad experiences.
How long do you want to do that?
Okay, fine.
Why? How does having kids stop you from doing that? Unless you're like great financial. No. If you're in a great financial situation that you can only have, but I feel like anybody that can only afford a flight ticket for him and his wife and cannot afford an extra flight ticket, maybe traveling in that moment isn't the best of fucking decisions to begin with. So like anyone that should be able to travel comfortably can travel with the kid. Like honestly, so I don't really see that as being.
I mean, might have been able to, but if you spend half the fucking funds on school fees, I mean, I don't fucking know. But I see where you're coming from. But for me, like that's not like a rule. Like, give me something. I don't know. Olaiton, what do you think? Am I just waffling? What do you think? Honestly, what do you think?
Well, like you guys have said, like if you can't like provide for the kids and all of that, like there's really no point. And I don't think that your life, all your life, you're working for your kids, because like
that's that's weird.
At the end of the day, if you don't like think about yourself, I feel like your spouse comes before your kids, because
you're like on spitting,
That's interesting.
If you guys
let us finish her.
Like if you guys put all your focus on your kids, like at the end of the day, you guys are not even going to know. You are not going to remember who you even married, because all your attention is going to go to the kids.
Like
and
you become completely different people. Yeah, and that might now cause a problem because now you're different.
Rose, do you think your spouse comes before your kids?
Obviously.
Come on, you think it's
No,
My wife first before the kid.
because of their relationship or whatnot. But like, I'm
no, but
just
what do you
genuinely
think though? Yeah,
curious
actually, what do you
about
think?
his
Obviously,
opinion.
your spouse first before your kids, man.
Come on,
Like,
you don't.
Because
Come
I
on, you
feel
don't
like
agree with that.
no,
you and your
I don't
spouse
agree
are
with that
one,
at all.
and
Come on, you don't
then
agree.
you guys are.
No, no, you not at all.
Okay, wait,
bro.
hold on. So come on, let me put you in a situation. Say you're married now, your wife is having a child and everything, and maybe go forbid there are like complications and stuff. So you can save one, the child or your wife. Who are you
No, in
saving?
that situation, I agree. In that situation, I agree. You guys.
No, you cannot agree in that specific situation. It's
No, I
one of
can't.
the-
I can't.
It's black or
'Cause-
white though, to be honest.
No, it's definitely not black and white.
Kinda is. It kinda
No,
is
no,
because it's about the
no, no.
mentality. So in that
Nah,
situation, you would what? You save your wife.
that's because you're talking about birth, right? Like you're talking about at birth.
Yeah.
At birth. Yeah, no, in that situation, I agree with you guys. But once they're born after that, I don't
The
think
child
I
is more
agree with
important than your spouse.
Bro, a child. Do you know how much? Because you
No,
having
I'm
a
not
child.
saying you won't
you
care
made-
about the child.
No, no, that's
But
what I'm saying. You made a conscious decision to bring life into this world. You're the only person. Okay, maybe I'm not saying you're the only person that can take care of them, but it is your responsibility to take care of them
yes,
because you're the one that made the decision to bring them into this life. If you're telling me that you're gonna prioritize your spouse in this exact same scenario that you've given me, let's say they're both like 5. The child is 5, like 5-year-old kid, and then your spouse is however old she is, and then you get involved in an accident and you can only save one.
Yes.
In that situation, I feel like saving the kid is the right choice.
Really?
Yeah, for me, in my opinion.
Interesting. Because the
Bro,
child is 5. The child has lived 5 years.
no, because the child was not asked to be brought into this life. You're the one that brought this
This
child
is
into.
true.
So you're
This
the
is
one
true.
that should take care of that child. Like literally, like anything that happens to that child is on you because you're the one that made that decision to bring a child into this life. So if you can't take care of the child, like one of you said earlier, don't.
but your wife also didn't ask to be brought into this world, man.
That's facts. You
Yeah,
didn't ask to be brought. Now,
and
don't get
that's
me wrong.
a
I acknowledge that would be a tough decision, anyways, if the child is 5.
to take care of her kids. But like a spouse, as harsh as this sounds, a
Yeah.
spouse is replaceable. I'm sorry. Divorce is
What? What did you say?
50% of marriages end up in divorce. 50%. Let's not act like
Okay.
spouses are like this irreplaceable thing that
No, and I
once you
agree.
get
And I agree. And I agree.
like spouses and even if you get divorced, a divorced couple can still take care of the kid. So it's not like you have to be married to
It's
take care of the kid.
complicated, though.
You don't have
True.
to. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. But yeah, like a spouse, like a spouse is way more. I don't want to use positive words in this sense. A kid for me has less ways of defending themselves. A kid has less autonomy over themselves. A kid needs you more than your spouse needs you. That's my opinion. Because a kid needs you more than your spouse needs you, I feel like they should be prioritized ahead of them. That's what I'm saying.
That's a bit of a tough one still, man.
But yeah, Rose, since you guys have alternative opinions, Rose, why do you think your spouse comes before your kid?
I know this is going to be, this is a very controversial thing to say, but like you can always make more kids. I know it's a very controversial thing to say.
Get married again though. So
I know it's crazy. It's crazy. I know we can always get married again.
Like
But
I said, we
like,
can always pop out more, man. Fuck that one. But
yeah, nah, guy, like,
you can only have that one
see.
spouse. If you find like a really special someone, yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I acknowledge it's a tough decision. If the child is 5 and one person gotta go,
It doesn't matter how old the kid. Once that kid is born, like I said, if it's at birth, the only reason why I say at birth, I would save the wife is
yeah, not at birth.
it's
This one, the child is 5, right? And you have to save
yeah,
one. Like this scenario. Listen, man,
yeah,
I've known this kid for only 5 years, but I've probably known my wife for like 10. I'm like, yo, I don't know this nigga. Like,
I don't know you like that.
I don't know you like that, bro. Sorry.
I don't know you
yeah.
like
Okay,
that.
Rose, continue.
Yeah. See, I won't lie, it's a tough decision. It's a very, very tough decision. And to be fair, like if there was a third option, I'd probably sacrifice myself and allow like both of them leave because I couldn't because at the end of the day, like, see, whatever decision you make, you always live to regret that decision. Because I don't think like, as much as you love your spouse or you might love your child and you might say, okay, I want to pick my spouse or I want to pick my child, I don't know, the regret is too much you might end up not forgiving yourself, and it's either one of two things. It might affect your relationship with your spouse, or it might affect your relationship with that child. Because at that point, there's a tendency that there might be some level of resentment.
So it's going
That,
south
like,
either ways.
yeah. So basically, if any small thing, if there's any misunderstanding, I'm just like, I really saved this idiot when I could have saved my wife. All of those kind of things now. Like, no, you know how people do whenever they're angry now. They just blurt out certain things. So like at the end of the day, like it might just be, it'll be a tough one.
I also don't know why we limited this to like life and death scenario. Like it's such
not limited to that. If it started
such a, like,
was
unlikely scenario, like you have to say one.
which
Like,
is true, but it's still
rarely happens.
Okay,
So let's talk about more practical, like life.
So we're going back to the original thing of I said give me some advantages, but you haven't really given me anything tangible, anything like that can. Yeah, I mean like.
I don't know what tangible, like the only tangible thing you can think of with kids.
I gave you practical disadvantages.
I
said
finances. The only tangible thing I can think of is, okay, when you get older, you have someone that can take care of you. You have someone that loves you. You have someone that will provide for you.
If you don't have a child, though, there will be people that will take care of you and love you, right?
Who?
Yeah. You got like you would have other family members. You would have I don't know.
You don't control this.
Not even compare.
Your child can grow up and
but your child might still not even like you. That's what I'm saying.
It's possible, but I'm talking in general now. This is what you're saying, advantages. So in general, that's an advantage, tangible advantage. Like you have someone that will
take. Assuming all things are equal.
Yeah, all things equal. Yes, all things equal.
Take care of
you have someone that will take care of you. I can help you out. Yes, that's what I'm saying. When you're older.
My point was like, you still have friends and you still have other family members that could do that. But I understand what you're saying.
Friends have their own family, and if you're talking uncles and aunties, depending on the culture you're from, I'm sorry, like. Anyway, let me not get myself in trouble here, but let's just.
Okay. Any other advantages?
Any other advantage, like tangible advantage to having kids?
Yeah,
companionship. There's that too.
What?
Companionship. Now, we have a companion.
But your spouse is your companion.
You can only have one companion.
You have extra.
Yeah, you can only have one companion.
You know how children these days, all they really want is their independence, to be honest. So once they're like age 9, 10, I mean, they're getting bullied in school, like realistically, they just want to be left alone.
Wait, Olaiton, do you live at home with your parents?
Yes, I do.
Okay, do you do things for your parents?
Yes, when they want me to sometimes.
Okay, so if you were not there, right? How do you think they would cope?
But I'm not with that. I'm not with them 24/7, and like they get things done. Like most of the time, I'm not even with my mom, and like she does like her things herself.
Yeah, I'm fairly certain that parents.
It depends on your parents too. Like if you are totally dependent on your parents, on your children, like when they leave, that's why I'm like, oh, your spouse has to be like the one that gets most of your attention because you guys are one. Your children are going to leave. All my siblings are in school. My brother is done, I'm done, but my 2 sisters are still in school. And half of the time, nobody's with my parents. They're alone. So if like they couldn't do their things themselves, what are they going to be relying on at this time that everybody's not even around?
You know what's interesting? Like, one, I'm surprised I'm the only one that has this opinion. That actually shocked me because I feel like my opinion is the majority opinion from what I've seen in like social media and whatnot. So I'm surprised I'm the only one that has this opinion. But that aside,
no, I mean you're spitting though. I'm just saying like from a practical sense, like
for me being at home, right? Like because I've been in school, like you guys said, when all my siblings were in school or working, so my parents were they don't want to hear. Yeah, they only want to hear for like a while. So I always wonder, like, yo, what did they do? How did they cope when like no one else is here? Because now that I'm around and my other brother is around, like we do a lot at home, and all my other friends that I know living with their parents actually do a lot. So I just always wondered, like, so for example, like if my dad now is retired, right? If you have a house that your family house you built for your kids, you retire, and then to maintain that house and all the other bills and all the other things that come with all your life's work that you work so hard to do.
Mhm.
So if you don't have income coming in to like consistent income coming in, then you may need
Yeah.
assistance. Instead of going
Okay.
to a friend or uncle or an auntie or a brother or someone or get a loan from a bank,
Okay.
you have kids who you've
Okay,
sent through
good,
school
good.
for how many
Okay.
years that I can
Okay,
help
good.
you out.
Perfect.
Like,
Now that you said that, but what if your child
That's
is a
true.
waste man and there's no money? Or better yet, what if they're a victim to Nigeria's economy and they ain't got no job? Now what?
yeah, that's fine too. That's still fine. Like, it's still fine. There's other ways your child can help you. Just today,
Uh-huh.
my dad sent me to like the bank to deliver like some shit because the driver was not around. There's shit like there's so many things. Like
So
my
he
dad is
used you
almost
as
70
houseboy
years old.
roles. That's
Bro, my dad at 70 years old, or almost 70 years old. I don't expect this man to be entering his car just to deliver an envelope to the fucking bank.
No, and I
Like,
agree
it
with you.
makes bloody sense.
And
Because
I
you
agree
have
with you.
kids that can help you do things
No,
like
and
that.
that's
Like,
fair. If you have kids,
yeah,
use
so
them. Free labor.
yeah, okay, free labor. That's an advantage. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go with that. Free labor.
It's free
That's an
labor.
advantage. Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
it's free labor, but what I'm saying is you don't necessarily need kids for that. Like now, me personally, if I'm like I'm older or whatever, like yeah, I won't necessarily expect myself to be doing all these small runs. If I have children, send them. Fine. But if I don't, like I don't know,
so,
people
so
in
skills,
you can send.
skills at 60, right? Let's say you're 60, 65. Your
Yeah.
spouse passes away, no kids. What next?
She passes away.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, like,
How am I though? Am I
what,
good? Am I in good health? Am I struggling? If I'm struggling, just end me too, because I'll be honest, like
what if you're good? Nah, you're good actually. You're good. Like, you're actually good, but you're like, you're 65 now and your spouse passed away and you have this
I know.
big ass mansion, 8 rooms or
Yeah.
whatever you have. Well, maybe not 8 rooms because you didn't have kids, but like, you're in this big ass house and it's just you.
Okay.
Like, how how do you think you would feel in that situation?
Yeah, I mean, it will be tough times still, but let me be honest though, because I know what you're saying. Children won't necessarily help because they still have to go and live
Nah,
their lives. They'll come
children
and
don't.
visit every once in a while. How is pops? And I'm
Yeah,
like, yeah,
that
good, fuck
helps.
off.
That
Yeah, I
helps.
mean, like what I would really want is my spouse back, not like I mean, like
Yeah, but she's gone. Sorry, like she's gone.
which is
Like,
fine. But what the kids gonna do? They ain't gonna do nothing.
nah. What? Okay,
They are coming to
Rose.
visit me.
Or
Okay, now
what?
what? Now what?
Someone else, please. That is not skills. Please, someone else in that situation. How would you feel?
No, I'm being practical. They've come to visit me. Okay,
Hey,
now
hey,
what?
you said your piece now. You said your piece. Let someone else talk.
This nigga doesn't want them kids.
Rose,
Said,
what
Yeah,
you
nah,
saying
don't
Rose.
then?
bring that.
Rose, what you
In
saying?
that situation, what you said?
Well, man, kids are essential, man.
No,
Kids
in
are
that
essential
specific
because
situation, what do you think?
is it the dad one going to the bank?
No, when you're
No.
like 65 and maybe your spouse passes away. I mean, I
Oh,
say,
okay.
yeah. I say
Okay,
you
you don't
don't have kids or you have kids. Now what?
Man, if you don't have kids, guy, it will be lonely as hell, man.
Okay, but
yeah,
what I'm
Lonely
saying
but,
is,
as hell.
but now
that's a
that you
struggle.
do, what are they going to do for you? What?
What do you
Like,
mean?
see, the thing about such situations is that, like, of course, if everything is okay,
Exactly.
the
All things
visits
being
from your children, yeah, all things being equal, if everything is okay, the visits from your children might not be as frequent. But like
you
the
Mhm,
talk to
fact
them
that
on the
like,
phone
oh,
still. You can talk to them on the
you
phone.
have lost your
mhm,
you have lost, oh, mommy is dead. I
mhm.
know. Obviously, the children will want to visit more, at least maybe even
Yeah.
spend some time. And
Yeah.
sometimes they might even want you to come over, to come spend
Holidays,
some
all these
time
things.
with.
Like, bro, like
Yeah.
there's so many like what you mean?
Okay, but what does that do for you, dude? Now let me tell you why I'm asking that because me personally, I think different. Like, if it's one of those ones where say they only visit, I don't know, once every 3 months, right? That's their
Mm-hmm,
normal. When
mm-hmm,
their momsy was alive, right? Just
mm-hmm.
once every 3 months. Now that their momsy is gone, my spouse, now they're now coming twice a month. Now, me personally, I'm like, okay, cool. It's good that you're here. It's good that you care about me. But maybe I just think different. I'm like, but I know you're only coming more frequently because you think of blah blah blah. And now you being here is now reminding me of the fact that my spouse is gone. So now I'm pissed. You know what I mean? Like it
Nah,
doesn't do
nah. What
anything
you
for
Guy,
saying?
guy,
me.
that's
Nah,
guy, that's a
no,
horrible way of
bro,
What
thinking.
do you mean it's
That's a
horrible? Like,
completely horrible way
you
of
know what it
thinking,
means
guy.
to die on your sword. This nigga
yo,
is
what do
trying
you
to
mean? Like,
die
so
on your
back me up,
sword,
please.
literally. Like this nigga is doing all in his power not to change the position. That's all this is, right? What?
Nigga, I just hate them kids, man.
No, but I might not. No,
Just
but do you
hate
get where
them
I'm coming
kids.
from, though?
That's
Because
why.
now
Nah,
it's
you
just going
don't
to
get
be
where you're coming from,
That's
no,
bro.
it's going to
You
be a
know.
reminder.
despite all what he's saying, yeah, he still said he'll probably have kids. Despite everything he said.
I mean, at least one of them. I don't fucking
Do you know how mad that
know.
sounds?
No, but I'm not pressed. Though. I'm not pressed. Wait. I said no.
All
I
the shit
can't.
you're talking about them, right? The fact that you still want at least one, or
No,
you think you
wait.
still have
Relax.
at least one.
Wait.
That's
Let me clarify my
that's
point.
not
I will only bring a child into this world if I am financially ready. I mean, I am financially. I mean, like there's
What if the
leeway.
child comes by mistake?
uh-huh.
Nah, that ain't happening to me.
Which is
What
That ain't
if?
gonna be
They
me.
said, what if?
What if the
What
child comes
if,
by
guy?
mistake? And she will still have to carry it for 9 months now. I have at least 2 weeks. We can talk and decide.
yeah. What do you mean?
Nah.
God.
Nah, don't cancel me. Wait, don't. No, but wait. Like I said, I'm just talking.
Absolutely.
Wait, no, wait. Let's just talk practically. Too. Now, come on, don't get me wrong. I see where you're coming from. There are advantages, like I said. Yeah, I mean, and those are good advantages. I feel like there are more disadvantages. Some of those disadvantages you can get past mostly with financial means, though. So if there's a lot of leeway, say the boy is suddenly balling, like money day, I've lived life, man is content. Yeah, sure. Like if I talk to the wife, we want children. I'm gonna bring one. Yeah, I mean max two. Yeah, I mean, but that's that's on a money thing. You get me?
Yeah.
So,
I don't it's sad that we live in a day and age where everything has to be transactional, like advantages,
but that's just
disadvantages,
life, though. But that's
cons.
just life.
Nah.
No, but it
There's
is
things
though.
that
That is life.
no,
Remember
this
that's
is what I'm
the
saying.
topic is societal norms. We
I
shouldn't
feel
do
like there's
something just
things
because
that
society dictates.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. No, but society dictating things aside, I feel like there's things that supersede transactional shit like money and finance and all that
But
nonsense. That
you said that you have to
like
take care of the child.
all
You
this
use
life
money for that.
shit. What?
Well, you said use your responsibility to take care of your child. You take care of a child with money.
Yeah, no. What I'm saying is like we're trying to measure the value of something in tangible terms like money
Mm-hmm.
and property and assets and all this
Yeah.
intangible things that go into like actions we do as human beings that cannot be measured by
Oh, so
money
you're
and
just
all
saying, oh, for the sake of humanity.
not even humanity, like in the same thing that drives people to get married,
Uh-huh.
like whatever internally drives you to get married is the same thing that drives you to have kids. And not that isn't measured by money. That's what I'm saying. Like it's not about
Oh, okay.
it's about other things. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Okay. I see where you're coming from. That's a good way to put it. The same thing that drives you to have, because there's no, I mean, there are advantages to marriage, though, to be fair. There are
There's
also
advantages to
disadvantages.
marriage, but I'm saying what's the advantages when you say, okay, this is the person I want to marry? Yes, there's the things like, okay, character, or maybe the guy has some money, but that's not ultimately okay. In some situations, yes, that's what drives you to get married to them. But ultimately, for most people, like Rose now in the situation he's in now, he's
Mhm.
as far as I know, he's not
Mhm.
providing for a house. He's not providing monthly allowance. He's not doing. Maybe he is. I
Mhm.
actually don't know. But like at the end of the day, like well, why they're together is not being measured in tangible terms. Like it's being measured in
Yes.
tangible terms. So that's what I'm trying to get at. Like not everything can be laid out like, oh, what's the advantage? Like tell me now, what's the advantage? Because not everything that's worth it can be said with words, if that makes sense. Like I can't always use my words, especially when I haven't had kids. Like I can't always tell you what it means, the value of having kids, like something you're doing, or once you're in that situation where you can do it, you don't necessarily fully understand what it means to be a parent or what it means to have a child. So yeah.
Uh, yeah, I don't know. I feel you, Bob.
You know what I'm like skills, yeah? Let's say we weren't talking about kids. Let's
Yeah.
say we're talking about some earthly asset. Let's say we're talking about a house.
Yeah.
And you've laid out all the fucking disadvantages you just laid out to
Mm-hmm.
buy a house in this particular area.
Uh-huh.
There's no fucking way you buy that house.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you buy that house, but still, that's not all the shit you've just said. You're still like, okay, maybe I'll have one kid.
No, what I'm
Like
saying
that,
is I don't mind. No, I might not buy the house, But I mean, at least get an apartment. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm
No, no. Because that house, like, a kid is still a kid, you know. It's not like the kid is
Oh
like
yeah, but it's
concept.
different between having one versus having 15. No, like I said, no. I'm not
If you tell me to buy
disagreeing
a
with you.
house in Lekki and you tell me there's 10 disadvantages to buying this house in Lekki,
Uh-huh.
but there's like 2 advantages to buying this house in Lekki.
Uh-huh.
As any like sane person with like any sense of business now, 'cause if there's 10 disadvantages that heavily outweigh 2 advantages, I'm probably not gonna buy that house. They're not even that, but like for you to still think, okay, maybe
Wait, now, okay,
my
yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I never
right,
disagreed
right,
with you though. There are advantages, and those are advantages that I would love to benefit from. I mean, yeah, I mean, at least you have a companion, blah blah blah, all those advantages that you might have mentioned. But what I'm saying is, it really just depends. Like, let mans grow up. I'm still youth, innit? I'm still young. So allow me to grow up and decide. I'm not necessarily 100% opposed to it. I'm just edging on the side of, you know what? I am mad if like I have a partner that doesn't want it. I'm not mad at that, honestly.
yeah, that's fine too. I think that's
Yeah,
fine too.
yeah. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So in this day and age, everybody, listen, the world is overpopulated. You don't have to be selfish. That's all I'm saying. You ain't gotta
All
be
I'm saying
just because society says you have to, you don't. That's all I'm saying.
yeah, yes, and I agree with that. And I'm also adding that not everything in this world should be measured by tangible, like fucking proof and shit. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, Bob. Okay.
Yeah, wait, that's all. That's all. Any closing closing remarks?
Yeah, closing remarks. Yeah, today's episode has been good. I can see Skills had a lot to get off his chest. So
As a born hater, bro.
whoever his wife is, just know that Skills is of the opinion that fuck them kids.
Yo,